So there's a lot of talk happening in the tech world, and it's about a phone that isn't even out yet. I'm talking about the iPhone 17e. This is the next model in Apple's more budget-friendly lineup, and it's already creating some excitement. People are curious because Apple is trying something new with its E series, moving away from the older designs of the SE models. The big question everyone is asking is whether this phone will offer enough new features to be worth the wait, or if it will be too similar to the models that came before it. To understand the iPhone 17e, we first need to look back at Apple's history with more affordable phones. For years, this spot was filled by the iPhone SE, which stood for Special Edition. The SE models were famous for putting a powerful modern chip into an older iPhone body. For example, the iPhone SE 2022 used the body of an iPhone 8 but had the A19 Bionic chip, the same one found in the much more expensive iPhone 13. Then, earlier this year in 2025, things changed with the arrival of the iPhone 16e. This model was a big step forward because it finally retired the old SE design. The 16e adopted a more modern look, closer to the standard iPhone models, but with some key differences to keep the cost down. It featured a single 48-megapixel camera on the back, kept the classic notch instead of the dynamic island, used a 60Hz display. While some of these were compromises, its standout feature was its incredible battery life, which could last up to 27 hours, even longer than the standard iPhone 16. This showed Apple's new strategy, modern design, amazing battery, and just the essential features. Let's talk about the two biggest questions on everyone's mind. When is the iPhone 17e coming out? And how much will it cost? Based on the leaks and Apple's typical product cycles, we have a pretty good idea. The rumors point to a release in the first half of 2026. This timing makes sense, as it allows Apple to have a major product launch in the spring, separate from the big iPhone event that always happens in the fall. When it comes to the price, the most likely scenario is that the iPhone 17e will launch at the same price as its predecessor. That means you should expect a starting price of $599 for the base model. Some people hope for a lower price, like the rumored $499, but keeping it at $599 seems more realistic for Apple given inflation and new component costs. Here's an important tip about Apple pricing. The launch price is not always the price you have to pay. History shows with models like the iPhone 16e, the price drops a few months after release. So if you're patient, you could likely get the iPhone 17e for $100 or more off after launch. When the iPhone 17e arrives, what will actually be new and what will stay the same? Looking at the design, we probably shouldn't expect major changes from the iPhone 16e. It will almost certainly keep a similar look, including a single rear camera. The screen will likely stay 6.1 inches and will probably stick with a 60Hz refresh rate. We're also expecting the iPhone 17e to keep the notch at the top of the screen rather than upgrading to the dynamic island, but the real upgrades for the iPhone 17e will be on the inside. One of the most exciting potential improvements is battery life. The iPhone 16e was already a champion with up to 27 hours of video playback. Rumors suggest the 17e could push that to 28 or even 29 hours. That would be possible thanks to a more efficient chip. This phone will likely feature the A19 Bionic chip, the same one in the standard iPhone 17. However, it will probably be a binned version, meaning slightly lower performance. Maybe with one less GPU core to save cost. Another significant internal upgrade could be connectivity. The iPhone 17e is expected to get Apple's C2 communication chip. That would improve 5G performance and efficiency and could also finally bring Wi-Fi 7 support to the budget iPhone. So while the iPhone 17e may look the same on the outside, internal upgrades to the chip, battery, and connectivity could make it a much more powerful and efficient device than its predecessor. So the big question is, should you wait for the iPhone 17e? It really depends on what you're looking for in a phone. The iPhone 17e is being designed for a specific type of person, someone who wants a reliable new iPhone with amazing battery life but doesn't need all the fancy features of the more expensive models. If you don't care about having multiple camera lenses for zoom or the super smooth promotion display, then the 17e could be a perfect fit. It will be more than powerful enough for everyday tasks like browsing the web, using social media, and playing most games, thanks to its new A19 chip. However, it's important to understand the compromises. The iPhone 17e is a budget phone in Apple's lineup. The iPhone SE is a budget phone in Apple's lineup. This means it will have a single main camera, so you won't get the versatility of an ultra-wide lens or a telephoto lens. It will have a standard 60Hz screen, which looks fine but isn't as fluid as the 120Hz displays on the Pro models. And it will likely use a slightly less powerful version of the A19 chip and have less RAM, probably 8GB. These differences are how Apple keeps the price down, and for many people these are perfectly acceptable trade-offs for a lower price. There are also good reasons why someone might choose to buy an older model. By the time the iPhone 17e is released in 2026, the price of the iPhone 16e will have dropped even further. Since the 17e is expected to be a small, iterative update, the 16e could offer almost the same experience for less money. Alternatively, you could look at a refurbished iPhone 16 or even an iPhone 15 Pro. Sometimes a slightly older flagship can offer more features, like a better camera system or a promotion display, for a similar price to a new budget model. Ultimately, your decision should come down to your priorities. Are you someone who wants the longest possible battery life and a brand new device with the latest chip and Wi-Fi standards? If so, waiting for the iPhone 17e is probably a great idea. But if you're looking for the absolute best value and don't mind a slightly older device, then buying an iPhone 16e at a discount when the 17e comes out could be the smarter move. There's no single right answer, but by understanding the differences, you can decide which phone is best for your needs and your wallet.